Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this past weekend, as the nation celebrated the 4th of July, the birth of our country, a tragedy struck. As all the world knows, a plane crash landed at San Francisco Airport, something very uncommon, but something that shared a common interest. Our thoughts and prayers today rest with the passengers and the crew who were on board Asiana Airlines Flight 214, with the families of the victims of the horrific tragedy, with the men and women recovering in hospitals across the Bay Area. Our prayers are with the families of the two young girls, Yumeng Yanan and Wang Lenjia, who lost their lives on Saturday. Indeed, we know that no words can console their loved ones today. All of San Francisco shares in their shock and grief. We will do everything we can do to care for those affected and their families. The sudden crash shook the grounds of San Francisco International Airport, testing the training, strength, and courage of those who will be the first on the scene. As a representative of San Francisco in the Congress, a privilege I share with Congresswoman Jackie Speer, who the airport is actually in Congresswoman Speer's district. We will join together to observe and mourn the losses tomorrow when some more of our members are here back from the Arizona tragedy. But for now, I wanted not another day to go by before commending the crew. They performed just so heroically. The crew was so magnificent, and a reminder to us that the first responsibility of the crew is safety, that they are trained for it, and they performed magnificently. And the flight attendant, the lead flight attendant, was the last person to leave the plane, not until everyone else was off. First responders responded in characteristic fashion, with bravery, with valor, without regard for their own safety, with their sights set only on the safety of others. Their stories are so remarkable. Their stories are so remarkable about what they saw on the plane and how people responded. And it was also and the cooperation not only of the crew, but of many of the passengers that enabled so many people to be saved. Seeing the sight of the plane and the crash, it was almost miraculous to think that so many people would survive the crash. There was only minutes to react, and within minutes, the flight crew and the San Francisco and San Mateo police officers and fire departments were climbing up the rescue chutes, running through smoke-filled aisles, and leading passengers out to safety. Within minutes, Fire Rescue Captain Torrey Malloy and his team had set up a triage and treatment area so they could immediately evacuate the most severely injured. Within minutes, the air traffic controllers and airport staff were effectively diverting traffic and travelers to secure the area. Within minutes, local hospital staff had made ready, and visited to provide the injured with the necessary care and support. As we speak, the injured are recovering at San Francisco General Hospital. It's a source of pride to us in San Francisco. It is a major trauma center, and if you have to go to a trauma center, San Francisco General is the gold standard. UCSF Medical Center, Stanford Hospital and Clinic, Lucille Packard Children's Hospital, St. Francis Memorial Hospital, St. Francis Medical Center, California Pacific Medical Center. The swift and fearless response of each of the men and women who responded, each of these are heroes, saved the lives of many on the Asiana flight. Their actions are a hallmark of their professions and the testimony to the strength and selflessness that defines the San Francisco Bay Area. The story of Asiana Flight 214 is over long after the news of the tragedy fades from the front pages in nightly news reports. The National Transportation Safety Board will continue to investigate what happened, and we will all work to ensure that it never happens again. I want to particularly commend the board and Chairwoman Deborah Hersman for being on the scene immediately with an investigative team in the most professional, thorough manner. We will continue to work with the Federal Aviation Administration and San Francisco International Airport to ensure that our planes are secure, our passengers are safe, our U.S. aviation remains the safest way to travel. It's been decades since we had any incident at the San Francisco airport. I can't remember any. We will honor the acts of first responders, the flight crew, weren't they magnificent? Weren't they all? The air traffic controllers, the hospital staffs. We remember those lost in the tragedy, and will do what we can to always ensure the safety and security of all travelers in America. Again, our prayers are with those who suffered through that tragedy and the trauma that many experience that is beyond physical, but hopefully comforted by the prayers and interest of others. But with that, I'll yield back the balance of my time, Mr. Speaker.
The gentlewoman yields back.